How's it going, guys? It's Najam. Welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to review a cheap gaming mouse. This is the GM900, and as you can see it's got 12 macro keys on the side, which is just absolutely insane. Now I'll talk about the macro keys in a bit, but let's start off with the mouse itself. So normally I use the Logitech G502, which is really famous. It's like really comfortable and everything. That's my main mouse. Now when I switched to this one, the only thing I could notice is that it's not as comfortable as the G502, but other than that everything is pretty much the same, or I guess you can say better because it's got more keys on it. Now this actually is a big mouse, or maybe it's just the shape of it just feels more bigger than the G502, and because of the shape I can't really say it's as comfortable as the G502, but it's comfortable. It's a pretty good mouse in itself, and for £30 it's cheaper than the G502, so that's pretty impressive. It's got two buttons on the top, the plus and the minus. You can actually change the settings for like all the buttons on this mouse. It's completely programmable. The two buttons are normally used to change the DPI, and if you switch the DPI, you've got like profiles on the software that you have to download. Well, you don't have to download it, but I do recommend it. Yeah, you're gonna need to if you're gonna use the macro keys and all that. As far as the build quality goes, well, it's actually built out of plastic, and that's typical of these Chinese products. Now on the bottom it has a switch for the key lock, which you can pull, and then the keys will actually drop out, so you can change them for different sizes. I'll get into this in a bit as well. And you can also take out the weights on this mouse, so make it much lighter. When you get it out of the box, it actually comes with the weights, all of them in there. So, and they don't really tell you that they're in there, so just go ahead and take them out and it'll be much lighter. It isn't exactly the lightest mouse, and from what I hear, it's not really made for FPS games, but it's pretty good for those as well, as with, you know, any other mouse. But since it's not the lightest mouse, you're better off getting something else like the Model O or some of the really more popular FPS gaming mouses, because they are much lighter. This mouse, in terms of weight, is really close to the G502, and that mouse is known for being quite heavy for, you know, FPS games. Now let's talk about the macro keys on the side. So you have 12 keys that you can actually program, and by default they're programmed to be numbers, so you can use them with MMORPG games to quickly do spells or just switch between items in somewhere like Minecraft, with having to reach for the 1 2 3 4 5 6 keys on the keyboard. And this really helps. I can definitely see this being a thing, but if you want, you can actually just switch out some of the keys for bigger ones, so it'll be a lot more simpler to use that way. Now aside from that, there is RGB lighting, although it doesn't really have some special effects and stuff like that, apart from breathing, which isn't really nice, and I don't think you'd want that on. But you can change the color to whatever color you like on the mouse, and it is really bright as well. Now in the software, as I mentioned earlier, that you can actually change the functions of all the macro keys, so you can actually assign multiple functions to each of these keys, and it can really help with gaming. Once you get used to the mouse, it's actually pretty comfortable to use, and you're gonna have to get used to the muscle memory to get those keys. They're just tactile keys. They don't really go in and out like a mouse key. They're not what I thought they would have been, which is kind of like a sort of like a mechanical keyboard. I don't know, it's a bit weird, but that would have felt better. These are just tactile keys, which I guess not bad. In terms of the performance, this thing goes all the way up to 24,000 DPI, and I'm not gonna really comment on that because it's too, well, I only use a 1080p monitor and it's way too much for it, but you're pretty much set for like a really long time. If you get an 8K display in the future, it has a lot of DPI, so it's pretty quick. I mean, it fits pretty much everything when it comes to gaming mouse. So I'll leave a link in the description. Make sure you go pick this up, because if you're looking for a gaming mouse, this is really good. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video.